Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and something I haven't done in a while, and I'm going to do it today in the group, is go over the crypto that I own and the crypto that I would own if I was buying more crypto. There's a lot more people in the group, and I wanted to go over it for those who haven't seen it, and then kind of give any updates there are, if there are any. You can join the group by going to daixrp.com, which is the Patreon, or click join right below any of my YouTube videos, or click on the subscribe button through X. The market is down, and here is why. Judge Torres denied the Ripple and the SEC joint motion for an indicative ruling. All right. So we got a lot of people weighing in on what exactly that means. Stuart Alderati, and see if you can pick it up as I read this, because words mean things. I've told you this 1,000 times, and Stuart Alderati planted some words that mean things in here. With this, the ball is back in our court. The court gave us two options: dismiss our appeal challenging the finding on historic institutional sales, or press forward with the appeal. Stay tuned. Either way, XRP's legal status as not a security remains unchanged. In the meantime, it's business as usual. So what are the words in there that you need to catch? That's it. It's right here. Finding on historic institutional sales. Crypto Insight UK picked up on it, and so did Fred Rispoli. I hope y'all caught on that new phrase Stu used. Historic institutional sales is what the injunction was about, not future institutional sales. That's an important thing to get out of this. Meta Lawman also weighed in. Note, SEC, sorry, I was looking at something. The SEC and Ripple do not need permission from any court to dismiss their appeals. My guess is we will see dismissals of both, of both appeals soon, because the lawyers for both sides had to have anticipated this outcome, that Judge Torres would not vacate her prior ruling. Ashley Prosper had some observations. I believe she's an attorney too. Judge Torres basically said to the SEC, you wanted it, you got it. Now deal with it. Whilst also saying to Ripple, if you want the case to end, then end it. The only thing stopping you is you. She's one tough cookie. Now, does Ripple pay the fine, live with the injunction, but get an exemption from the SEC for future sales, try a third bite at the apple, or move forward with its cross appeal? And does SEC move forward with its appeal, or does it drop its case? I expect both parties will end their cross appeals, considering both were willing to do so anyway. Plus, the fine is inconsequential to Ripple, and the injunction, because it is not narrowly defined, could actually be worked into a positive. Think about it. An injunction, while often seen as punitive, can paradoxically become a badge of trust when viewed through a systemic compliance-focused lens. Ripple can't just wing it or pivot recklessly anymore. Every action has to pass through court scrutiny, or there is contempt. Ripple can even market it. We are the only crypto company operating under a federal compliance mandate. You'll never have to worry about legal surprises. And then we had John, let's see, am I out of order here? No. We had John Deaton weigh in on his thoughts.
And the Judge Torres threw a curveball. So first of all, you cited the wrong rule. Second of all, you haven't demonstrated to the court that there are exceptional circumstances for me, Judge Torres, who followed the law and issued an injunction, for me to just say, I changed my mind, I'm going to dissolve the injunction. You got to do some effort. You got to show me some stuff, right? You got to meet this high standard. It's actually a high standard of exceptional circumstances. And so she said, come back to me. So I thought, well, shit, right? She's pissed off. For one, look at all the time that she spent on this case 4.5 years, the amount of hours and resources and money and effort that was expended on this case. And all of a sudden the SEC says, "Psych, we changed our mind, Judge. We wanted $1.3 billion in a fine, and now we want you to take your $125 million fine and reduce it by 60%. She wants a little bit more. So I thought that the SEC and Ripple would put together a brief that'd be a little bit more than what they did.
What I think is going to happen is, since the historic institutional sales are what the injunction's about, I believe the SEC is going to give them a pass on future institutional sales, and they're both going to drop their appeals, and that is the way I understand it. Now, this is all temporary stuff. This is what is more exciting to me. The Circle IPO and then the Coinbase stock is a great indicator of what's coming. Coinbase's stock hit a new all-time high since going public at 368. And then you had Circle. Circle has been up at 220 today. This thing keeps flying. If you remember, ARK Investments, Kathy Wood's company, had sold I think it was like 100 and something million earlier this week. It briefly went down for a little bit during that, and now it's flying again, impervious to these large sales. Now this is a good one. This will blow your mind. This is John Deaton on with, this is the guy, one of the guys from founder X3 Finance. Watch this. This is what everybody needs to be thinking.
Scott puts out a newsletter every day, and a part of his newsletter is really illuminating, associated with where we're at with crypto today versus where we were a year ago, 3 years ago, 5 years ago. So I'm just going to read one paragraph. It'll probably blow your mind. So where are we at with crypto right now? Well, yesterday at the NASDAQ, VanEck rang the bell, and they just happened to have a big old pudgy penguin standing there with them. Now, what the pudgy penguin was there for, I don't know. Maybe it made it more interesting, and people were, wanted to click on their being at the NASDAQ more because there was a funny looking.
My 19-year-old baseball player just walked in the door. Do you want to say anything?
What's up, audience?
This is my shy son who does not do a lot of talking, or at least he doesn't do a lot of talking to his parents. Maybe he does a lot of talking to his friends, but that's how it works, isn't it?
Penguin. That being said, here's what's happened in traditional finance over the past, let's call it 16 months. BlackRock and their spot Bitcoin ETF, which is the most successful launch of an ETF in the history of ETFs. That in and of itself is a mouthful. JP Morgan has launched a deposit token on Coinbase's Base network. By the way, has Coinbase ever launched anything on JP Morgan's network or on their bank? No, they haven't. JP Morgan needs Coinbase for this. Fidelity offers Bitcoin and Ethereum in retirement plans, and Fidelity has been mining Bitcoin since 2014. Franklin Templeton tokenized a U.S. Treasury fund. Goldman Sachs has a digital asset platform and trades crypto derivatives. Citadel Securities, along with Fidelity and Charles Schwab, launched EDX Markets, a crypto exchange built for institutions. NASDAQ built a crypto custody solution. Schwab offers crypto exposure through index products. Visa is settling USDC on Ethereum and Solana. And by the way, those are just maybe a third of the headlines over the past year. Think about that for a minute. BlackRock, JP Morgan, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, Goldman Sachs, Citadel, Schwab, Visa, NASDAQ. I mean, that blows your mind, doesn't it, John?
It's what mass adoption looks like.
That's correct. This is interesting, folks. No, remember those Ethereum disguised whales?
Have you ever been interested in any altcoins?
No.
Never.
Never.
That's interesting because the normal journey of a person getting into crypto would be, hey, I learned about Bitcoin, and then there's this shinier thing for the moment, and then I'm distracted. But why is yours not like that?
Well, I think if you put yourself back into the time where I was coming home to my living room to Andreas Antonopoulos, and back in those days, that's when all of those altcoins were being created. So like, think about joining Bitcoin before Ethereum existed. I was there when Vitalik sold some pre-sale ETH to my stepmom at a conference like this. Vitalik was like, "Hi, my name's Vitalik and I'm working on this new project. Would you want to support us by buying some Ethereum?" And my stepmom was like, "Sure, sweetie, you seem like a nice kid." And that's a true story. And so when I got to kind of, before these things got so big and had such marketing engines behind them and all these narratives of DeFi or NFTs or ICOs or whatever next load of crap, I was there.
So we've now got another one, and I've told you for a long time, this whole thing, the Bitcoin thing and previously the Ethereum thing, was one big PR narrative. Most of these crypto pundits that are in that gang, they all know each other, that a lot of them were there. It was a marketing machine. With Bitcoin, it still is a marketing machine. I think that ETHgate caused a lot of the people to jump ship from that whole gang, the ETH gang. And the XRP army not only did it, but the other thing the XRP army did was set everything in motion, which eventually became, well, first it was going after the SEC. Nobody had done it. Then everybody else in crypto joined in once they realized they were going to be targeted too. Then that became donating massive amounts of money and getting political, and it all started with the XRP army. Anybody that tells you that ETHgate being exposed had no major impact, it had a massive impact. It changed the entire world of finance. Here's Senator Tim Scott telling you they're going to get this market structure bill done by September.
What you just said, I think, is powerful. Revolutionary is what we're talking about with the Genius Act. And the next iteration of the market structure, I think, is incredibly important as we talk through those market principles and look at the Clarity Act. But if we get just the Genius Act right, it can have powerful impact. But for the market to function completely, we need both. And that's why I think it's important from my perspective as the guy that will at least guide be the part of the glide path for the market structure to come to fruition. I want to set a timeline, Cynthia, or I should say Senator Chairwoman Lummis, of seeing the market structure completed before the end of September. I think that is a realistic expectation. Don't you think so, Senator Lummis, Chairwoman Lummis?
Well, yes, sir. You're the chairman, and we will do as you wish. We will make sure that we're ready to do that. We put out the...
You get the point. Then we got this from Ripple. Today we're partnering with Wormhole to bring multi-chain interoperability of the XRP ledger and upcoming XRP LEV on sidechain. This integration brings new interoperability for developers, institutions, And Bank XRP's got a good post on it. Ripple supercharges the XRPL. Wormhole integration unlocks XRP native assets, 35 plus change. Smart contract interoperability boosts DeFi payments, real world assets. With 60 billion in volume and clients like BlackRock, XRP Ledger's multi-chain future is here. And then here's another good post on it from Smoke. Ripple has now integrated Wormhole into XRP Ledger. BlackRock's Biddle platform uses Wormhole to go multi-chain and interoperate with numerous blockchain networks. This is powered by securitized and institutional grade custody platform backed by Ripple. Full circle. And then we've got this from Cowboy Crypto. This is interesting. Apparently a company called Chaints Securities LLC is heading up the initiative to assist Trident in raising $500 million for their XRP treasury. Chaints Securities is a subsidiary of Mercurity FinTech Holding. BlackRock, Goldman, UBS, AG Millennium Management, Cube Research and Technologies, and Point72 Asia are investors in Mercurity parent company. Cowboy Crypto, who is the official cowboy of the Digital Asset Investor channel, always digs deep. Okay, we're going to go into DAIXRP.com. I'm going to show you what my portfolio is. I'm going to show you what it would be if I was buying more crypto, if you've never seen that, and then it'll give you a snapshot of my thoughts on things, and as far as what I buy, what I would buy, and all that. I'm the digital, go to DAIXRP.com. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Away we go.